right. All right, so if you follow directions, yellow and white should be at which shovel? The short shovel. So if you have a yellow or white sticky note, which should be half of you, you should be over here. If you have a pink or blue sticky note, you should be over here at the tall shovel. Is the tall shovel still over there?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, I didn't tell you to touch the shovel. All right, so this is what I need to do. I need one volunteer from each side. Raise your hand. Sierra's on this side. Who's my volunteer on this side? Somebody raise your hand.
Trent is right here.
Trent, thank you, Trent. What I need you to do is to take the shovels, and I need you to dig 3 big scoops of dirt, flip them over, and your group is going to write 3 observations that you see about that dirt. Go ahead, flip 3 shovelfuls over, and then as a group, everybody needs to come in, and so you can see the dirt. 3 big shovels. 3 big shovels, and flip it over so you can see. So, there you go, like a pancake, exactly. Flip it up, flip it over. There we go. 3 big shovels. Now take a good look in. What do you notice? Good. A color is good. Okay, what do we see? What do we see?
Dirt.
Here, and I want you to see that corner right there? I want you to flip that too. Okay? Okay, be careful. Flip. Now flip that drum.
There you go.
Okay, take a good look at it. Take a good look at it.
It's like wet.
It is like wet, so write that down, that it's damp, moist. Note the color. Note what's on top of the bed. You need 3 things. Everybody needs 3 things on their sticky notes. What do we think? What do we think? Okay, I'm going to give you 1 more minute to identify 3 things in your bed. Yeah, get specific. All right, now, pink and blue. Raise your hands. Pink and blue. There we are. I need you to move over to this side. Now, white and yellow, I need you to move over here. I want you to look at the other bed and write 3 things that are different from one bed to the other. 3 things. Devin, come on. Move the J's. Move the J's. You got to go to the other side. Come on. All right, so we're flipping that. Flipping it.
Flip it so we can see what the soil
Well, it's already flipped over there. Go take a look. Go take a look. Okay, what do we see different? What do you notice about this bed that's different than the other bed? Oh, it has grass. That's a great observation. Lighter?
It's a little bit drier.
You think? Touch it.
No.
Why? Touch it. Feels different, doesn't it?
It is. How's that feel, Quincy?
Feels dry?
Dry.
Is it lighter?
Ooh, that's
Yeah?
dry. Like that's.
Dry? Okay. All right. What do we think? What's different about this one? Don't step on it. Don't step on it.
I accidentally did.
Oh, don't compact. Don't use that term. All right. So what do we see? What's different about this one?
It's more
It's
dirt.
darker.
It's darker. What else?
This looks like Texas dirt.
It doesn't have any grass.
Doesn't have any grass. It's a great observation. Mark that down. Soft? You think it's softer than the other dirt? Oh, that's true. That's true. Okay. All right. Do we have at least 3 observations? Get your 3rd observation down. Okay, let's come together as a whole group here. What did you notice different about the 2 beds?
That has a lot of grass and it's lighter.
Okay, that has a lot of grass, and the color, is that what you're talking about? The color of the soil is lighter?
Yeah.
Okay. What else do we notice is different?
This is more like if you step in your foot, it'll go down.
Okay. So this one's fluffier. Okay. You're not supposed to step on it. That's a good.
To ruin the soil.
Yes, it's called compaction. We don't want that. Okay. Any other observations?
That one's like glitter.
Okay, that one does have more moisture in it. That one has more moisture in it. Touch the soil and then come and touch the soil. I'm telling you, touch the two soils. You'll see a difference.
I already touched that soil, bro.
Okay. Well, that one's crumbly. That's a good observation.
Oh, that's the truth.
That's more dirty than that.
That one's more dirty. That's
Like not like dirty, like nasty dirty, but it's like
Yeah, that's dry.
dirt.
Okay. So you're saying that feels like not dirt?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like, I don't know, like that kinetic sand.
Kinetic sand. Okay. So this one feels like kinetic sand, and this one feels like dirt.
Right.
Okay. Devin, he's the smart kid.
Devin.
He's a smart kid. All right, awesome. Okay, y'all, if you would do me a favor, and you can have a seat on the edge of the raised beds, like a little
I just
seat.
lay in the bed, like.
I wouldn't lay in the bed. There are ants in the bed, so I wouldn't lay in the bed.
Samuel's habitat.
Okay. All right, so y'all, we're gonna do. Let's have a seat. Have a seat. If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. All right. So let me talk to you a couple of minutes about stuff you learned about this week. Okay. What decade was the Dust Bowl? You don't know what decade it is? It's in history class. You have to at least know the decade.
Say it again, Ian.
1930s. Y'all, okay, sit down, Sierra. So this is the deal, y'all. When you think about the Dust Bowl, dust is dirty, and a way for you to remember that is the dirty 30. Okay, dirty 30s. Okay, so when you're talking about the dirty 30s, we're talking about the Dust Bowl. What are some of the causes of the Dust Bowl? Okay, not pollution, but not using crop rotation. The drought. Okay, what else? What else? There's a lot of other things. What? Wind. Excellent. What else? Okay. So y'all, there's a lot of other things that we also have to remember about the dirty 30s. When we're talking about the Dust Bowl, it wasn't a one-time thing. Okay? It actually went from 1931 to 1939, with the drought starting in the late 20s. So this wasn't just like a one-time thing, okay? And there's a lot of factors that influence it. And so one of the major factors is the Homestead Act. And did anybody learn about the Homestead Act? What was it trying to do? Okay? All right, so the Homestead Act, y'all, was a way to get people from the East Coast to push out west and to try to farm some of that very fertile grasslands that were out there. And so they encouraged people and they gave people land. That's really, really great, except when you get out there and there's all this area that was grassland and then you want to dig it up. What did we do here with the shovels? We dug it up and we did what? Flipped it over. What is that called when you do that to a crop area or a plowing, right? And plowing is what you do, and what you're doing to the dirt is tilling, okay? And so they would till up the dirt and flip it over. And there are some negatives to that, okay? Because they were like, look, if you flip it over, the grassland is now underneath and it won't grow. But whatever's underneath there will grow, which are usually weeds, and they're quick growing and they die really quickly. And then if the weeds die, what's going to happen to the soil? It's going to get dry, exactly. So what happens is it gets super dry, and then it doesn't rain, and then these winds blow, and what happens to the whole top layer of the dirt? It blows away. Y'all, do you know how deep you usually plant? Look at these beds.
1 foot. Less than that.
Less than 1 foot, you're right. And it's usually between the first 5 and 6 inches of the top. Okay? So if you're getting all of that nutrient-dense area, it's called topsoil, and you're flipping it, you're drying it, and then it's floating away, what's going to happen to your rich farmland?
It's gonna leave.
Okay, it's gonna dry up. There's not going to be anything to do with it, right? So one of the other things that we talked about is the idea of topsoil, right? And the crop rotation. Somebody over here mentioned, or no, wait, we flipped. Somebody over here mentioned crop rotation. Why is it important to rotate your crops?
So that they can get moisture from both.
Better soil.
Okay. Nutrients. Excellent. So what's your favorite food? Pizza? What? What's your favorite food? Tell me. What's your favorite food?
Chicken.
Chicken. What? Wings? Hot wings? Okay. So if you only ate your favorite food, right? You only ate your favorite food. What would eventually happen to you?
You turn into one.
You might turn, if it's, hot wings, you might get fat, right? If it's Takis, you might get fat. But you know what else would happen to your body if you only ate that one food all the time?
You turn into one.
Diabetes.
You might get diabetes. Okay? One of the things that's going to happen is that you're going to end up becoming nutrient deficient. Right? Because hot wings do not have all the nutrients in the world in them. Pizza doesn't have all the nutrients in the world in them. And so what happens to the soil, if we're talking about a plant, it's planted in the same place, the plants only eat a specific thing. And so it'll eat, and what's going to happen to the soil? It's going to eat all the nutrients out of the soil. What's going to happen? They're not going to have enough in it to grow again, right? So what is it? Do you know what it's called when you plant only one crop over and over again? Anyone know?
I actually just recently got told about it, but I forgot.
Okay, well, it's called monoculture. Mono meaning one, culture meaning type of thing grown in one area. So the monoculture is going to go over and over again. So what was happening is that they were trying to grow the same crop over and over again, and the soil was depleted. What main 3 nutrients does a plant need? Now, I'm not talking about sun, water, and air, or carbon dioxide. I'm talking about what nutrients. Think about the periodic table. What? Okay, no, I'm talking about a nutrient. It makes oxygen, though. Remember, it takes in carbon dioxide. But what is it? What element's in the soil?
Nitrate.
Nitrogen. Excellent. So that's N. I'll give you a hint. The other 2 are P and K. Nitrogen. What's P? What?
Potassium.
Not P is not potassium. It starts with a F.
Tell her exactly what you just said.
K is potassium. Excellent. So we have nitrogen, we have potassium, and what's the F one? Starts with PH. What?
Phosphate.
Phosphorus. Okay, phosphorus. So excellent. So those 3 things. Has anyone ever planted anything in a garden or gone to the garden city?
I planted those trees up there.
No, you didn't.
I swear to God, I did.
These trees, you did not plant those for trees?
The ones in the baseball field.
Oh, okay, the ones in the baseball field. Okay. So if you go and you get a fertilizer, it'll have 3 numbers on the front typically. It'll be like a 10-10-10 or a 40-10-20. Okay? Those 3 numbers are nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. So different plants need different things. I told you they want to eat the same thing over and over again, much like teenagers. Okay? So that's kind of cool. So just so you know, that's part of it. Now, what else do you know about the Dust Bowl? And how about this, the New Deal? Not Nathan Deal. That's different. How about the New Deal? Y'all learned about it?
We talked about this yesterday.
Okay, what you say?
The New Deal. Who did the New Deal? What president? No. He said Hoover DR. FDR.
He said Hoover's not the vacuum guy, but he sucks.
Yeah. So after Hoover, right, because he sucks, according to Coach Bailey, who came in after Hoover? FDR. Okay, and FDR came up with the New Deal. What was the New Deal? It has 3 R's. The 3... No, it's not reduce, reuse, and recycle. That's reform, relief, and recovery. Okay, so part of what FDR did is he went to the top agricultural scientists in the nation and around the world, and he said, look, what can we do to stop this? This is an issue. We do not have food. People are dying, right? And so they said, look, we've found that there's this thing that irrigation is good. What's irrigation have to do with? Water transport, right? So it's, if we can get water there, so that was one of the things they did, is they put in an irrigation system. And then he said, you know what else? There's this really cool guy. You may have heard of him. He's really famous with peanuts. What is his name?
Booker T. Washington. Yeah.
Nope. Close. It's 3 names. It's 3 names, and I always get them confused too. It's got Washington in it. It's something. Washington what? George Washington Carver. Awesome, y'all. Awesome. That is the guy. Okay, so he did not technically invent peanut butter. They were eating peanuts in Africa a long time before that. But he did. You're right about peanuts. He came up with over 100 uses for peanuts. And you know what? One of the primary things that peanuts do, or all legumes. What's a legume? That's a cool word.
That's a device.
It is not a device, but it should be. What's a legume? Y'all, what's a legume?
A piece of water.
No?
Water.
No? Okay, if a peanut is a legume, what else might be a legume? A legume.
What is that legume? It's a goober.
Okay, no.
It's got it in the name.
Okay, it is some kind of pea, seed, or nut that you can eat, okay? So a legume can be like peanuts, they grow underground, right? Okay, but most peas grow where? And that above ground, and beans too. So name all the different beans you know. Pinto. Baked beans. That's not a type, but lima, green beans. Sweet peas. Yeah? Black beans. And your red beans. And your cannellini beans. We got all the beans, right? Hey, do y'all know the rhyme? Beans, beans, good for your heart?
The more you eat, the more you fart.
Okay, you know that one. Okay, beans are actually even better for the soil than your digestive system. Okay, and the cool thing is that beans are the only, I'm talking about legumes, that family, the only family of plants that actually put nitrogen back into the soil instead of taking it out of the soil. Okay, so it's kind of cool. There's one other way that nature can put nitrogen in the soil. Do you know what it is? You know what it is? Something weird that happens in nature when it storms. Not thunder, but what comes? Lightning. Y'all, if lightning strikes the ground becomes completely nitrogen dense. Okay, they're not really sure exactly how that happens. But if I was relying just on lightning to fertilize my field, would I be very successful? No. Okay. So, I know, I have planned those just for y'all, those birds. Okay? Just one? All right, there's two. All right. So, y'all, one of the other things, listen, that came about was, one of the other things that came about was this idea of crop rotation. Okay? Crop rotation is not a brand new idea, but these scientists really came up with this way that you could really utilize and make your soil a lot better without having to add nitrogen fertilizers and stuff, okay? So we're going to do a quick activity where we're going to demonstrate this. So if you have a pink sticky, I want you to come and stand right here. Pink. So pink stickies, y'all are our roots. What are roots? What are root plants? Tell me. Root foods. Carrots. Potatoes. What else? Radishes. Not pumpkins. Pumpkins aren't roots. Onions. The whole alum family. So we said radishes, onions, potatoes. No, Brussels sprouts go up. What else? Carrots, beets. Okay? These are all roots. They grow, the edible part grows in the ground. Okay? And roots are super important because when they grow in the ground, guess what they do to the soil? They help it. They open it up, right, like this. Because the root grows and they open it up. And so when you pull it up, it allows the soil to have aeration in it. Okay, so roots are super important for aeration. Now, I need the yellow stickies. You're going to be here. Yellow stickies come around here. This is kale. I really should have put something else here, but so yellow stickies come here. Wait, what stick is it supposed to be here? Pink. Okay. You blue. It's okay. We'll move her where she's supposed to be in just a second. So this right here is yellow, and yellow is fruits. Name me some. What makes a fruit? Wait. Okay. Okay. If I said, what's the difference between a fruit and something else? What is it? Seeds. Thank you. So what fruits or vegetables have seeds? Tomatoes. Okra. Squash. Cucumbers. Avocados, but they're really a tree. Bananas. They are also a tree. So we're talking about annual plants that are fruiting, okay? So a lot of times we think, because we're talking about vegetables, don't step in my garden, that's compaction, and we don't want to do that, okay? So these are all of our fruiting kind of things. These are things that we think about eating when we go to the salad bar, okay? Tomatoes, cucumbers, okras, that kind of stuff. Okay, over here we're going to have our white, okay? So if you have a white sticky, you need to come over here. And whites are our leaves. What kind of things do we grow for leaves? No, we grow the watermelon for the fruit. Tobacco. Okay. You do use the leaf of a tobacco. What? That is correct. So if you have a white sticky, you need to be over here with our leaves. What other things do we eat? This is one of them. What is this? No, this is kale. Anybody want to try kale?
I want to try it. I want to try it. I want to take a bite of it. Kale.
You just eat it straight up like that?
Yeah, it's kale. Kale is a lettuce. Well, it's not a lettuce technically. It's a leaf. It does. It tastes like a vegetable. Okay. Okay, y'all. So a couple of things about kale. It does taste like broccoli because it is in the brassica family. And brassica is the...
Moist soil over there.
What?
You probably get some good size.
What are you saying?
The topsoil?
Yes.
Oh, take that shit in there.
No. Okay. So, y'all, this is kale. This is great raw, and it's also great cooked because it's real sturdy. You feel how sturdy it is? Yeah, it's really, really delicious. And it's in the brassica family, which is also with broccoli and cabbage. So it's in that same family. Tastes like broccoli, you think?
No.
Okay.
No, it kind of does, but there's kind of...
Like, have you ever
At least
eaten
it's
it,
nasty
washed it
after
off and
taste, but it's
nothing?
all up in my brain.
Okay. So leaves, y'all, these are over here, and the leaves help with the cover crop. So it helps shield the soil and prevent erosion. They have really good root systems. Okay. And now the last one over here is our blue. Okay. If you have a blue sticky note, you need to be in this one. Okay. And our blue stickies are our legumes. And remember, what is in the legume family? Legumes.
Oh, pea.
Nuts. What else?
Peas.
Peas. Beans. Okay? Those are all in our legume family. So it's over here. That's right. You got to remember legumes. We should say legumes, good for your heart. Okay? And so it's over here. But y'all, look what happens when I plant my legumes. Okay? I go, oh, the legumes are done. I'm going to replace the legumes with our leaves. So our whites are going to move over to the blues. Our blue legumes are going to move over to the root vegetable section because once the soil is aerated, you want to go ahead and put the legumes in so they can put the nitrogen. So move. Y'all, whites go to blue. Blue goes to pink. Pink goes to yellow. And yellow goes over to white.
Spit this out, it comes out yellow.
I don't know. Okay. So rotate. So this is season 1, right? Year 1. Okay, come on. Okay.
My lip ain't 2 inches out.
Okay, listen. Okay.
Not even living.
So let's try it again. Now you guys are what color?
Blue.
You're legumes. So the legumes are going to move over here. Okay. And now after the legumes, our leaves are going to move back over to this one. Okay. And then our whites are going to move over to our fruits, and our fruits are going to move over to our leaves.
Oh,
Somebody got mixed up because we got a lot of people here and not a lot of people here.
take it easy. Take it easy.
I want to shove it
Okay.
in your throat and make it
So look, y'all. This is blue, pink, white, yellow. Make sure you are where you're supposed to be.
Oh, yellow right here?
Blue, pink, white, and yellow. Okay, y'all.
It feels great over here.
It does feel wonderful. All right. So everyone have a seat on your bed.
Yeah.
Have a seat on your bed. You won't sit on it. Sit on the wood. Okay? So let's talk about this. Let's talk about what are some of the benefits do you see to doing this crop rotation? What are some benefits?
learning different vegetables.
They're getting the last nutrients from the other plants.
Right. So we're using the way that the plants naturally grow and what they add to the soil to benefit the next plant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What else? If we're putting a crop or a cover crop like a leaf or a clover onto the ground, what's going to be the benefit of that? If we don't just let it dry up and go to dirt every fall.
It'll keep the soil moist.
It'll keep the soil down, prevent erosion, and keep the soil moist, okay? So you see how a lot of these ideas can really help out the farmer? In return, it helps out the people who are eating the food. Okay, how many of you eat? Eat every day, right? Hello. You would not be alive if you didn't eat. Okay? So y'all, when we're talking about this, and it seems like it happened in 1930s, which is coming up onto, 90 years ago, and you think, what is the big deal? The big deal is that you eat. And we're still using the same farming practices that we used 1,500 years ago. Okay? So that being said, I would like you to write down one thing on your sticky note that you learned today. One thing. That kale is awesome. Well, and this kale does not look very healthy.
Raise your hand if you took world history last year. Took world history, or at some point 2 years ago, freshman year usually.
LEGUME. Just like that?
Guys, back in the Middle Ages. Right, so what Ms. Lamkova is telling you that we've basically been using a lot of the same practices for 1,500 years. Right, back in the Middle Ages, you might remember from your world history class the idea of the 3-field system. Right, it's the same kind of idea as crop rotation, where farmers would plant whatever they were planting in 2 fields and then leave the other field to just kind of grow and just kind of, he wasn't going to deal with it. It was almost a way to try to get the one field to recharge itself. Right? Kind of like you plug your phone in all the time. Right? You guys are always asking if you can plug your phone in, charge your phone. In my classroom, it's only second period. You're using it too much. Right? But it's the same idea. Right? You're being able to kind of give the soil an opportunity to replenish its nutrients. Give the soil an opportunity to kind of recharge so that it
Leo, you gotta eat some with this.
quality crops, whatever that crop
I've
is.
had like kale like in stuff.
No? Anybody else want kale?
He just put the whole thing in his mouth.
All right. It's really good. It's a nice way to ease in. It's super nutrient dense and it's considered a superfood. Okay. All right. You will use your ticket to get back inside, and then we'll wrap up with a summary and Q&A session. Okay. So head on in using your sticky note as a ticket in the door.